Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Shad and we're here with another Raw Thoughts video. Probably looking at your screen right now. God, what? 2 uploads in a week? Yeah, it's been about 2 months since I've done something like this, but it's about time that we gain some consistency. So I am back indeed under 7 days with a second video. Let's talk about this Pacers and Raptors game because it turned out to be a really good game and I enjoyed every second of watching it. So let's talk about it.
Still tough.
Haliburton.
Short.
Rebound.
He never got his legs under it.
No look pass to Jackson.
So a couple of pre-analysis notes that I had noticed that both teams were top 3 in terms of transition points per game. And it makes sense when you look at the roster construction, right? Both squads are filled with really young athletic guys who can run. And that's really all you need for a transition team. And they're also, like I said, young. Sometimes they miss a lot of shots. So there are a lot of rebound and fast break opportunities. But also there was no Freddie or Pascal or Precious for the Raptors. So that was very important to note. And I will say that the Raptors missed them a bunch in very key moments too. Prior to it, I kind of wanted to see how this Pacers offense was scoring 117 points per game. Like I had a decent enough reason, right? They have a point guard who's fast, who gets the ball to other people, and they have shooters. That's the basic premise. But 117 for a team that might not make the playoffs this year, that's notable. And that's something that I had to really look in depth at and see what was going on. There you go. Those are all my notable notes before we get into the gameplay analysis of this whole thing, which we will get into at this moment. It was a back and forth game for a little bit, and then the Raptors started to take over in the second quarter. The second quarter score was 39-24 in favor of the Raptors after being down by 2 in the first. So what I could tell from the start about both of these teams. First of all, let's start off with the Pacers because I really wanted to watch them more than anything. Tyrese Haliburton as an offensive engine is incredible. There's a lot of discourse surrounding passing and what's really a meaningful assist, what's a Rondo assist. Haliburton catches his guys in rhythm a lot. And I think that's the mark of a really good floor general and passer, especially at such a young age. And it shows up a lot more in transition as well. In the half court, yes, he makes the reads, he throws the lobs, the backdoor cuts, he sees everything, which is really incredible. But in transition is where it shines. At a different level, he's able to multitask on the run. He's able to see his offense developing as they're still running up the court on the fast break, right? As a young guard, as someone with all of the keys now to this franchise, he pushed the pace. And it showed up a lot in this game too, as we'll talk about in just a little bit. They love to shoot the basketball from 3. I think they average 40 3-point attempts per game. It's literally second in the league behind the Boston Celtics, who have the #1 offense in the NBA right now. And they did not disappoint this game either. I believe they finished, 44% from 3 tonight on 19 of 43. Look, Rick Carlisle, he knows the tools that he has. And I think being able to ride the coattails of a really good point guard right now and not having the biggest expectations is leading to a lot of really fun, good offense being played from the Pacers. Buddy Hield is actually a lot better on ball than I thought, or at least that I was giving him credit for. It took me back a little bit. It didn't shock me because he's still an NBA player with years of experience under his belt, and he's a solid player. But some plays where he was putting the ball on the floor and creating a mid-range shot or creating not necessarily an assist, but a hockey assist, a pass to the connecting passer that gets the ball to the open shooter. There were a couple of things like that, and I was just like, okay, Buddy Hield, I like that from you. Keep it going. I like it. Halftime gets around. It's a 13-point lead for the Raptors. They have complete control of this game right now. They're looking good. They're feeling good. The second half the second half was not good for the Raptors. They got outscored 30-25 in the third and 36-14 in the fourth quarter. This is exactly the point I was trying to make at the beginning of the video when I said that they really missed Freddie and Pascal and even Precious to a degree, especially in the fourth quarter, where the people that were supposed to step up in those threes' absences were taking bad shots, were not hitting shots, and were overall just making bad basketball plays. Credit to the Pacers because they played some really, really good defense at the rim in the second half. Credit that to Miles Turner. Credit it to Isaiah Jackson for making shots tough. It was an overall good defensive effort. And it's not like the Raptors weren't getting shots up. They got up 50 shots in the second half. They went 15 of 50, I believe, while the Pacers went 23 of 38 and also hit more threes because the Raptors also went 3 of 23 from 3 all game long. It was rough for the Raptors in that second quarter. Like you can just see where they're missing a game manager or a pace manager or a guy that is experienced enough and good enough to control a game when it is getting out of hand. And it started getting out of hand when Scotty Barnes was trying to drive to the rim, trying to draw contact, and kind of just throwing the ball up and getting blocked and then not getting back in transition. The Raptors as a whole really didn't get back in transition at all in the second half. Gary Trent couldn't hit a shot. Chris Boucher had a really good first half and then went 1 for 8 in the second. Scotty Barnes had a terrible shooting game, and that's something I guess we can touch up on a little bit. He's just not a shot maker yet. And I fed into this next thing and I'm about to talk about, but I personally thought he was going to make an all-star push this year. I was really high on Scotty Barnes. I think he had a really phenomenal rookie year, and I was expecting a lot. That is my fault because I was expecting a lot out of a guy who just got out of his rookie season, and I will take full credit for that, or blame if you really want to call it that. But he has not been a really good shot maker. He has not been a good on-ball presence. He can pass the shit out of that ball. He throws with velocity, and a lot of the times they're very accurate passes. And his vision, you can tell his vision is improving in terms of the type of passes he's making in a certain situation. Not just making a pass to make a pass, right? But he's got a lot of improvement to make before he takes this next leap. Let's talk about the fourth quarter because holy hell. And I want to pull up the fourth quarter stats. Holy, they don't have the fourth quarter stats. NBA.com has every other quarter stat except for the fourth quarter of this game. Good. Yeah, I hate this app. Yeah, let's talk about that fourth quarter. I wrote down a couple of notes because I was really confused with the late game situations and how the Pacers, literally the first note on here is why are the Pacers so competitive? It's their ball movement. They pass the ball around like crazy, which then leads into my second point, which is the fact that they are a high volume 3-point shooting team with a good percentage. So there is always comeback potential. So no matter what, and I think they mentioned this on the broadcast a couple of times, this team is never really out of a game. 3 points is more than 2. The Raptors were relying on a lot of 2-pointers. Pacers were not. And then you saw it happening. I think the most they were down by was 15 at one point in the second quarter or the third quarter. Ended up winning the game by 14. Scotty Barnes tried to fill the holes in the clutch of Fred VanVleet and Pascal, and it just wasn't working. Gary Trent Jr. tried to do the same thing. They're just not up for it right now. And I know GTJ is kind of like he can be a streaky guy at times. He can be a really streaky guy. He's either really on or he's really not. And today he really was not at all. But yeah, I just, that's it, man. I was really, really impressed with how the Pacers were able to manage in the fourth quarter, more specifically, because yes, they played an overall good game and they made their comeback in the third quarter and then kind of finished it off like halfway through the fourth. But their poise, attention to good basketball plays, and Tyrese Haliburton all lent themselves to a really, really good fourth quarter from the Pacers and a really good win overall against the playoff team. I still got the Raptors being a 5th seed in the East. I still think they're that good. The Pacers might be making some noise in the play-in. I don't know. This is just a one-game reaction. This is the first video I've done on the Pacers. This is really like the second or third game I've watched super duper in depth with them. So there's still a lot that I have to watch and figure out before I can formulate a really strong opinion about them. But as of right now, they look damn good. And I'm really impressed with them. And that is all I have for today. Thank you very much for sticking through another episode of of the Raw Thoughts series. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.